my friend, welcome back to our reading class with Miss Anita. I am so excited to have you here today. In today's lesson, we are going to answer questions about the Green Pie Adventure story. I am not going to read the story again just to save on time. But in your activity about the brave mouse, you have to read the story again. Okay, let's answer questions about this story. What kind of pie did Ben and Tim decided to bake? Do you remember? Okay, if you don't, let's scan through the story, especially at the very top. Question 1, the answer is usually in the first lines, the first 2-3 lines. One bright morning, Ben and Tim decided to bake a pie. Let's make an apple pie. Yes, now they decided to make a pie. And what kind of pie did they decide on? An apple pie. So what kind of pie did Ben and Tim decide to bake? They decided to bake an apple pie. That's our answer. Great. Question 2 says, who did they ask for apples? Do you remember? Where did they go? Okay, let's come through our story. They decide to make apples. They think it's a great idea, but they realize that they need apples. What happens next? Ben thought for a moment, okay, Mrs. Green has an apple tree. Let's ask her for some apples. So, who did they ask for apples? Mrs. Green. Where's Mrs. Green? Mrs. Green? Mrs. Green? Where is that? Mrs. Green has an apple tree. Okay, let's ask her for some apples. All right. So who did they go to? They went to Mrs. Green to ask for apples. All they asked Mrs. Green for apples. Great. Why did Ben and Tim decide to take a piece of pie to Mrs. Green? Why do you think they did that? We have no direct answer here from the story. Now, this question requires you to reason or to think, to use what you already know about the story to answer that question. Why do you think these boys decided to take a piece of pie to Mrs. Green? They were showing their appreciation to Mrs. Green because she had given them the apples in the first place, which was a key ingredient to make their apple pie. So maybe they took a piece to Mrs. Green to say thank you for the apples she had given them. All right, they wanted to show their appreciation. They wanted to say thank you. All right, or they wanted to make Mrs. Green happy. All right, there are so many reasons why they did that, but of course all those were good reasons. There are many ways of answering that question because we can reason, right? Great. Number 4. Why did Ben and Tim decide to take a piece? Oh, did I repeat that question? Poor, silly Miss Anita. Have you ever baked something with a friend? Have you? Yes, I have. I have ever baked a cake. What did you make? I baked a carrot cake. In your case, have you ever baked something with a friend? If yes, that's good. What did you bake? If you haven't, what do you wish to bake with a friend? Shout it out. What was your favorite kind of pie or dessert? Okay, what's your favorite kind of pie or dessert? You can shout it out. All right. Now moving to question 7 where we are learning new vocabulary. What does the word juiciest mean in the sentence? In the sentence that says, Ben and Tim picked the juiciest apples from their tree. What does that mean? Where do we find it? Oh, I see the word juiciest. Okay. So here, let's go back to the beginning. Ben and Tim picked the juiciest apples from their tree. They thanked Mrs. Green and hurried back to Ben's kitchen. The apple, juiciest means something that has a lot of liquid. If it's a tomato and you can tell that it has lots of liquid inside it, we call it juicy. So if you have 3 apples, for example, they all have liquids inside them, or a lot of liquid, but the one that has so much is the juiciest. Okay, so also these boys, they pick the juiciest apple, the one that has too much liquid in it, or too much apple juice inside them. Yeah, that's what we mean. A lot of liquid in something is, we describe it as being juicy. All right, if you choose that in a sentence, what would you say? What can I say? Oh, I ate the juiciest tomato ever. All right, good. All right, friend, that's it. You are going to read your story again and then answer questions about it. Which story is that? Let me see. What did you read? Okay. What story did you read yesterday? The Brave Mouse. You are reading The Brave Mouse again, and then you're answering questions about it. Pause the video and have a go at your reading task.